Hey everyone, welcome back to Cooking with Calvin. Today we are going to do I think the first vegan recipe we've ever done on here. But this is a good vegetarian option, vegan option. It's definitely a crowd pleaser for any get together that you have. So today we are making coconut-crusted tofu bites. So very minimal ingredients that go into this dish. First we're going to start with, you get the firmest tofu that you could find. Extra firm, whatever it is, just find the most firm one that you can. What we want to do is we take the package, just cut an X into it on the top. Now we want to get all the moisture out of this that we can before we start doing this. So do that, we kind of set it upside down in the sink, and then the rest of our ingredients. So this, we're gonna break into one of the batters that's called the tempura batter. Very simple, salt, flour, and it helps to have a carbonated drink. So for extra points, I have a lime seltzer so that the batter kind of has a citric taste to it. So that'll be flour, salt, and seltzer, all for the batter. And then to coat it, and this is where the coconut comes into play, is we have panko breadcrumbs and we have shredded coconut. I go sweetened just because I like a little sweet, because I like to have a spicy dipping sauce for it. But you can find unsweetened, you can get super sweetened, whatever your preference is. So as we let that drain, what we're gonna do is, you have your pan on the stove, getting your oil hot. You could also make this recipe baked if you don't want to break out the frying oil and get all that hot. This can be done in the oven. You can get your oven preheating to 425 right now if that's the case. So, for the coating, you want to get about double the amount of breadcrumbs as you do coconut. Just get all of it together. It should all just blend together. The ratio is pretty good. Now for this. So, we want to get something to whisk everything together. I probably have a cup and a half to 2 cups of flour. So to make everything easier, what I want to do is whatever you're going to whisk it with, just kind of run it through it so you can put some air into it. This will make it less clumpy, make it easier to mix together, all around a better experience for who's ever making it. So, get maybe 2 to 3 pinches of salt into the flour. Mix that together while also just aerating it still. And now a big secret that comes with making any type of batter really is, so you get the seltzer because you want the carbonation, but you also want it to be ice cold. So maybe even if as you're pouring it in, you could pour it in over ice so that it goes through ice and it's the coldest. But to make a really good batter, whatever the liquid you're pouring in should just be ice cold. And this is a pretty easy one. If you mess up, you put too much water, I mean, all you're adding more in is flour. Yeah, don't be too scared of this one. I'll keep adding as I need it. And you're looking for kind of a thin batter-like substance to come out. Tempura batter, you really only, it's a very thin layer of batter on the outside. Get that to the right consistency. Since we made it ahead of time, we might have to fix it a little bit more, but Right now, that's about the consistency that you want. That'll stick right to the tofu. So now we have tofu. Just want to push out as much as we can. The extra water in there. We're going to come right over here. Take it out. And now we decide how big of pieces we want. So we could, could just go straight down, cut it in half. Just something that would fit onto the end of a toothpick if you're at a cocktail party or something like that. But we could also, if you're looking to do it for more of dinner style, we could also make it into these long, almost like it would be steak slices. So we'll do both ways. Now the best part about this is that, it is vegan, it is vegetarian, so there's not a lot that you have to worry about cooking all the way through. You're not going to get sick, anything like that. So all you basically do is you want to take this first one, you plop it right into the batter here. Take with your fingers, kind of get off the excess, and then you're going wet hand, dry hand. And they do not mix, otherwise you get dinosaur hands. So now you got it all coated like that. So even if you weren't frying this, even if you were just throwing this into the oven, simply just place that onto a sheet tray with some parchment paper. You throw it right into the oven, 425, until it's like nice and golden brown. So this first one, we're throwing it into our oil just to test out the temperature. It looks like it's pretty good. These things go fast, so you're going to want to do all of your prep ahead of time, because you could already see the sweetened coconut, it just browns very fast. So if you throw it in and then walk away, you're likely to burn something. Take it out. Make sure you have a plate, some paper towel set up. And see, it gets nice, it's crispy. Now let's do one of the steak ones. Gotta be super delicate, since there's not much holding this thing together. And now I'm going to get dinosaur hands because I'm mixing the wet with the dry. That is okay. And then you want to just pat it down a little bit. That will help all the seasoning stick to it a little bit more. When you're doing breading, even if you're doing like chicken parm, veal parm, breaded chicken wings, stuff like that, you're going to want to pat all of this into it just to help it stick a little bit more. Right in. And you can literally see how fast it went. And that one was basically submerged fully, so we didn't even have to flip it. And we can just turn that down. And that'll be that. Then we'll get back to my night of doing this. But before we go, just get a close in on this. And just hear the crunch that comes from this. That's like the perfect thing. So serve it with some sweet Thai chili sauce, honey mustard, any sauce really. It's just a fun dipping thing. So until next time.